this on the road? What is the mindset for the group? What is the key of being in the right headspace to come away with the victory?
Well, you hit it spot on. It's just one game on the road that you got to take care of. Again, we talked about it. We've done the situation, not necessarily here in this moment, but understanding it's been one game for us for about 2 months now. You talk about the play-in. You talk about being able to get the game at home. Those scenarios are the mindset that you have to have going into tonight.
What can you learn or take from last year's experience being in an elimination game on the road that you guys can apply to this year?
It's very similar. Just being able to understand the emotions of the game, what you need to you can control, only what you can control. Focusing on us, the small margins within this game are going to be huge. We know the energy that they're going to bring. We know what the crowd is going to bring. But can we keep our attention focused on us and how we have to approach this tonight?
How important it will be to make guys like Derek White, those other guys?
And that has been the key. I think those other guys get going, understand what Jalen and Jason are able to do in any given game. But it's the other guys that step up in those moments that have, really hit us throughout this series.
How do you evaluate how well your team has reduced their number of open three-point looks far below what they usually are accustomed to attempting?
If you're just going off the numbers, I think we've done a very good job of that. Obviously, they've knocked some key ones down at any given time, but we watched that this morning, being able to look at how we can limit those as well. And those are communication pieces, understanding where those screens are coming in, how we can continue to cover and protect one another when we are hit, and being able to switch up to get to those three-point shooters.
One of the common things that we've heard in every loss is that the team feels that a lot of these mistakes are correctable mistakes, the things that you know how to do better. Does that give a sense of confidence, or the fact that maybe they're not applying them in those losses? I'm just curious how you manage that.
There's something to learn in wins and losses. We took exactly what we did in Game 3. The difference is, did we apply the same amount of ball pressure in Game 4 that we did in Game 3? Were we communicating as much? And the adjustments that they made were some pretty good adjustments in order for us to keep us off balance, which I think our ability to communicate those things as they happen in real time is going to be very important.
Kind of along those veins, players talked about needing to play 40 minute games. What's been maybe preventing you guys from getting over the hump on that, or what needs to happen to have the focus to play with the same intensity throughout the whole game?
Well, I think if you look at the end of Game 3 and 4, very similar situations. I think we end up fouling a three-point shooter. You give up an offensive rebound. We make a shot versus missing a shot. They're very similar scenarios. Jason got it going a little bit down the backstretch. So being able to understand that it's not won or lost in those moments, but the margins before that. It's the offensive rebounds that happens in those moments. It's the turnover. It's the execution of our sets down the stretch. Those are very important, in those moments, as well as throughout the entire game.
Well, Jason was talking after the game about the respect he has for you and your guys' relationship. Obviously, you had that tense moment during the game. What's that like, having a relationship with a guy like that, but oh so bad, like in a series like this, and having a moment like that?
Well, it's really just about the competitive nature. That's what happens when you cross these lines. There can be, friendly banter and whatnot, but understand that we both are trying to go out there and win, and he's doing whatever's necessary to get his team in that position to be successful, and our guys are doing whatever they can to put our guys in the position to be successful. So, it's a balance, but you also know you guys are all competitors, and they want to find a way to win games.
What is that relationship like with him?
It's been over years. He comes in the league. It's been through camps in the summer and seeing him over time and just being around. It's just, he's the reason he's an all-star and an all-NBA guy, but what he's done for the community here as well as where he's from. That's just the type of young man he is, and you have to respect that more than anything than the basketball side and what he's trying to do and what he's trying to provide for outside of basketball is that a high important piece.
Is there a difference in the art of a defensive rebound on a long rebound versus a defensive rebound on a conventional rebound?
Well,
does it require a different skill set or a different level of awareness?
I think the main concept is that you got to find the body, go hit them, and then go pursue the rebound and understand where it's coming from. Long shots, long rebounds. There's an area on the floor that you're going to go to, usually around that free throw line area. When their guys are driving to the basket and they may miss around the rim, I think it becomes a scrap and a fight down there.
J.I., what were some of the little things that you guys would like to clean up going into tonight's game?
Rebounding. They had a couple offensive rebounds for kick-out threes, turnovers. late in the game hurt us a bit. I say we take care of those two things, we'll be in a good position to win tonight.
When you're in a game like this, how much of it is about mindset, belief, maintaining those two type of things?
I think it's what it's all about, honestly. We know this team, they know us. There's really not much to watch outside of those little things that we can clean up, but they're looking to close this thing out and we're looking to get back to Orlando, so it's a mindset thing.
Well, it's a 3-1 series in their favor. How close do you feel it is to being the other way? I mean, you guys were in games 2, 4, had chances in both of those.
Just down the stretch. They've been here before. I feel like they've managed the game late a little bit better than us, last night especially. And so, we were able to clean that up tonight and just, hold down the fort and make some plays to win the game, and we'll be right there.
How big would it be for this group to kind of get the monkey off the back of winning a playoff game on the road? Something that's eluded you the last 2 seasons.
It'd be huge. It'd be huge. Can't wait. Why not? Why not tonight?
Del, when you're facing a game like tonight, how much of it is about mindset and having the right, headspace and belief heading into elimination game 5?
That's what it's all about. We live for these moments. We live to play on the biggest stage as possible, and tonight is one of those examples of that. Not to get lost in, whatever's going on the outside, but to just make sure it's about Magic basketball for all 48. And, we live with the results.
The series is currently 3-1 in their favor, but you guys have been, had a chance to make this 3-1 the other way. How close do you feel you guys are to kind of flipping the script and putting the pressure back on them?
You're talking about in this series right now?
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. You know what I'm saying? They're the defending champions. They have expectations of trying to do it again this year. Like you said, we've made every game tough, and they made some timely buckets down the stretch in the 3 games that we've lost, or the two of the games that we lost. So, it's just something that we can build off of, something that we've learned, both defensively, offensively, understanding situations and things like that. I think it's a great opportunity for us to, try and flip the script for sure.
Yeah, how much it comes down to the little things, offensive rebound here, a foul there. How much is in the little things in the margins?
Oh man, that's been the story of this series. Except for the first game, it's been whoever won the possession battle usually won the game. So we had to do a better job of cleaning up, our defensive rebounding and continuing to give ourselves as many possessions as possible, which is offensive rebounding, turning them over. That's going to be the name of the game tonight for sure.
As much punishment as you've received and also delivered, how do you feel beat up at this stage of a series, like bruised up and sore?
No, not at all. This is the game I like to play, so I feel like I was built for it for sure.
A silly question. It's not my first. Yeah. Is there a difference in the art of defensive rebounding on a long rebound versus defensive rebounding on like the kind of rebounds you and I are used to when we were kids?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when guys shoot, you're talking about when people shoot like 3-pointers, but
like stuff in the paint.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference. Most long shots come with long rebounds, so. It's kind of a unique way you have to box out when it comes to guys taking a team like this who takes a lot of 3-pointers. You kind of want to rebound kind of outside of the paint. You want to be in rebound position outside the paint, but then when guys are shooting layups and middies and things like that, you want to control the paint. So it's kind of a flip the script kind of thing when it comes to where the ball is coming from.